Hello you guys and welcome back. We are back in my daughter's bedroom. For those of you who missed it, we made over my two little girls' bedroom into the bedroom of my dreams. Honestly, no, we made it exactly how they wanted it. They picked the wallpaper, they picked the wall color and molding and all of the fun little details, and we love how it turned out so much. But if you know me by now, or in general, if you guys DIY, you probably know that generally when you do a project, you get 90% of it done, maybe even 95, and there's that last little percentage that needs to be done. But life keeps going, you keep moving. Specifically me, I keep moving to next projects. Hi, my name is Courtney. If you don't know me, I love to keep busy. So I got busy and I did some other things, but there's some things I want to change in here. And in general too, the girls had a side table and it was very small. Even when I brought it in here, I knew it was too small for the space, which was unfortunate because it's a really pretty piece. So I'm gonna see if I can find somewhere else in my home for it. And if not, then I'll have to let somebody else love it. All that aside is that I want to take this out, and I found a dresser that I'm going to paint and we're gonna bring in here, and I'm so excited. And then also you guys can see the door. So the girls have two doors side by side. This is actually a closet door right here, and this is the door to leave the room. I painted the room. I left the door white just because I thought, do I want to have the main room door be white so they didn't get confused when they left the room? No, I just wanted to leave it white to see. And then in the video, and even myself, people said it needs to be painted pink. So we're gonna go ahead and paint that the same color as the room. And then the bed skirts. The girls have just their beds, and every time I take a photo of this room, I'm like, something is just off. And I realize they need bed skirts. One, just to add some cuteness to the space, but also two, just to hide. They do have some bins under their bed. And in general, I just think that it would just look adorable. So, and kind of get rid of like that black space that I have whenever I take a photo. It's those finishing details that we're gonna do in here today. So, hope you guys are excited and ready. And if you aren't already, please subscribe. We have so many fun videos behind us that you can go back and watch, and so many more coming. We own a Century home and we are making it over kind of one room at a time, sometimes juggling multiple projects. So anyways, hope you guys like this video, and let's just get right into it. Dresser that I got for the girls' room. I think it's gonna be the perfect size between the beds. Hi. I measured and it should be, and I just want this to store their doll stuff because they've got quite a bit of it. And right now Rosie only has one drawer in that tall dresser, and so I want to give her some more space. So I have a really good primer that'll adhere to it, and then we're gonna paint it, and it's gonna hopefully be.
I don't paint it.
Yeah, and it's gonna hopefully be quick and simple.
No.
Harvey's gonna help, okay?
Yeah.
What do we say? Let's
Go.
Let's do this.
See that.
Going in with the Zinsser bin primer because you don't have to sand beforehand, and anything that requires less work, I'll take. Wild. That took me like 30 seconds. Oh my gosh. Guys, that was actually so fun. Highly recommend. I'll have that square link down below. By the time you see this, it may not be on sale, so keep an eye out for a sale because I saw it on sale and a 20% off coupon. So really affordable. Highly worth it. So the awesome thing about, also ignore that, that's from my living room, but the awesome thing about this primer is that it dries in 45 minutes. I have 4 small children who needed lunch and my attention, so it's been a bit longer than that, but I'm just gonna give it a quick sand with 220 grit sandpaper. This is just like when we did the kitchen where we really want that smooth finish. So I'm just gonna go over lightly, get out any of the little bumps, and then we're gonna go in with our green paint and then Depending, it should only need one coat. If you spray, it generally only needs one coat. But if it does need two, then I'll sand in between and then we'll seal. So excited. Ready to see the color? All right, I'm just going to paint this door. If you watch the original room makeover, I'll have it linked down below for you guys. I left the door because there's a closet door directly beside it, and I don't know, I felt like they needed differentiation. I feel like the door just needed to stand out to be like, this is the exit, which I know sounds so silly, but now after having lived with the space, I decided to paint the door. Some of you even said that when I first did it. You're like, why didn't you paint the door? So I just wanted to see and live with it, and that's okay sometimes. And the great thing is that now I can kind of touch up some spots that got roughed up while I have this paint out. I just got a big whiff of paint, doesn't smell good. Anyways, I've only got 7% battery, which is, 6% now. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and see how much of this door I can get painted before I lose you guys. And then I also wanna know, do you guys think I should paint the fireplace? I personally never thought I needed to, but some people said paint it same as the door, like why not just have it go all the way around? But at Christmas time, I really like it white. So anyways, if you guys know us, you know we love Christmas, but anyways, this is just sausage. This is Sachet Sands by Sherwin-Williams. And we have little battery, so stop talking. Didn't want to waste another paintbrush for this, so I'm basically just dipping it in the edges and trying to get it. It could mess up my foam brush roller, but again, I just don't want to waste a whole paintbrush on such a small project. So far, it's working out. It's also best to use a roller for doors because you'll just get a really much smoother finish than if you would see like the people before me. You can see that they have brush marks all over. A roller just makes it look so much more high-end and like you spent the time to make it look good. And honestly, it's faster anyways. So spend a couple bucks on the roller. It's dust ruffle time. I've gone ahead and I bought my fabric. I just bought honestly the cheapest cotton fabric I could find at, I think I got it at Hobby Lobby because it was more expensive at Joann's and they didn't have enough of what I needed. So I ended up going to Hobby Lobby and it was on sale. Make sure you wait for 40% off. And then I just dyed it with some tea bags last night. So I used green tea bags by accident, and green tea isn't the best because it can fade away quicker and it won't dye it as dark. And so then I added black tea bags as well, just had some Earl Grey. So I dyed them and then I threw them in a rinse cycle and then dried them, and now we have a little bit more of a creamy texture. It is a little bit pink. I don't think it's gonna show up right now on camera, but actually kind of works out perfectly because this room is pink, but it does have just a slight pinkness. I don't know if that's from the green tea or not, but anyway, so what I'm gonna do now is we're gonna sew a little bit of a hem, like barely even a 1/4 inch. And I'm also going to put this on it. I don't know what it's called. I'll have it linked down below, but basically it allows you to create a ruffle. So it has 2 strings, and after it is attached, I can pull the strings and it's going to gather the material. And the great thing about this is normally when you would do that, you would use just your thread, but you risk it breaking. So this is a lot stronger. So I'm excited to use this. So as always with most of my projects, I feel like I'm kind of starting from scratch. I tried to go and find other blogs that have done what I'm doing, but I was only able to find things that were similar, but nothing really quite like this. So I don't really know if it's right or wrong, but it worked out for me. So follow along if you want to. But as I already described, I just sewed a little bit of a hem, and then I'm just sewing on this gathering piece. I did this all the way down, and then you want to make sure that you really close it off at the end. So I went over it a bunch, and this is just to make sure that when you gather it, that it's not going to budge anywhere. And then making sure to hem that edge as well. Then you want to make sure to sew the other side of that gathering, I really should figure out what this is called, just so it stays in place. And then for my bottom hem, I'm doing a 1/4 inch, and then I just want mine to be 1 1/4 inches up. You're going to figure out these numbers beforehand. So what you want to do is actually measure where you are going to be tying this on your bed. So basically the bottom of your bed or from your box spring, and then where it's going to hit the floor. But I recommend having it go about an inch above the floor. And this is just going to make sure that it doesn't collect dust, but it can still be super cute. And then I'm just sewing that all the way down. And then I made these little strips so that way I can tie them all along my bed rail. All right, I've sewed pretty much everything, and then I'm gonna add these little strips that are gonna help keep it onto the bed. Another way you could do this is where people do like a whole sheet and it goes underneath your duvet, but I just didn't wanna do this. This might be more work, I'm not sure. But anyways, I'm just gonna go ahead and apply 2 strips to each corner, and then that'll help me tie it up. And then I'm gonna hold it up, scrunch it up, and see where I wanna put my other ones. You could do it beforehand, but I just sewed a ton of this fabric because I'm not quite sure how much I wanna gather it or not. And so I'm gonna go ahead and sew that after, but you could do it before if you knew exactly what you're doing. In case you don't know, I'm an amateur sewer. I kind of get the basics, but I'm not perfect, you guys. And yeah, so I'm just sharing with you to show you, don't let your inability stop you. But yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and sew these on. Now comes the fun part. So you get to pull the 2 strings at the opposite end that you did not sew closed. Hopefully, if you did, you're gonna have to undo that. But you basically are just gonna be moving this gather all the way along your fabric. And you wanna make sure that when you sew your fabric originally that you have plenty extra. It actually recommends doing about 2 times the amount of the width. So let's say the bed was 5 feet long, you would need about 10 feet of fabric. I think I had a little bit less just because I didn't want it to be fully gathered. I wanted it to be a little bit simpler. But just keep that in mind. I think even 2.5 times the length of the bed would be ideal. So then I just move those along, and now I'm adding on those strips. I have to hand sew them, which is actually probably simpler because I broke the needle on my sewing machine, but it's all good. And this is better for the needle anyways because it is a little bit thicker. And I just placed those, I think I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the bed and then 2 on the ends. And you want to have enough so that way it can hold it up, as you can see here. guys, what do you think? I love all of the little details we did in here. None of them were really major, but they completely transformed and elevated the space. And that's just what I love doing as I'm learning more about DIY and decor. I think I was putting those two words together, is just trying new things and trying to make things even better than they could be. I find it's those little details that really pull a space together. We didn't need desk ruffle, but it definitely makes it look so much prettier, and I don't have to look at those toys anymore, and then just even more beautiful when I take a photo in here. And the dresser is not only functional, but also so pretty. I love the light green that we went with. I definitely think the dark green would have been too much because the space has an airiness about it. And then of course, painting the back of the door, it felt so good, and I decided not to paint the fireplace. I did a poll on Instagram and the majority said don't paint it because I really love it at Christmas time when it has the garland, and I have touches of pink for this room, and I just feel like if the fireplace was pink you would kind of lose that. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments down below what videos you want to see from me next, what your favorite DIY in this room was, and make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you aren't already. We've got great content coming, I hope, and I will see you guys next Sunday at 2 p.m. Bye guys!